presentation contains adult dialogue not suitable for all audiences. Brought to you by Media Listen. Viewer discretion is advised.
Media Listen.
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 Media Listen. You are now listening to Media Listen.
Hey, welcome everybody to a whole new episode of Media Listen. I am your host, Ricky. And I have two special ladies in the building with me, two very special teachers. Give me 1 second to get everything started. That's good. All right, let me introduce you guys to the special guest for today's episode. I got Miss Starks in the building, and I have I was going to call her Elizabeth, Miss Sanchez as well. Not necessarily in the building, but you know, they're here in spirit and in other ways, of course. So why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick for everybody who don't know you guys. Go ahead, Miss Starks.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Miss Starks. I am a social studies teacher in Houston Independent School District. I teach grades 6 through 8 currently, but I am certified all the way up through senior year.
Go ahead, Miss Elizabeth. Miss Elizabeth and Miss Sanchez. Hold on, Ellie. We have bad connection. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're breaking up a lot. It's okay. We're gonna make it work. Oh, go ahead. I think you're good right now.
Did you hear me?
No. Dang. Jesus Christ. Go outside. No, I'm playing.
All right. I can't.
I'm sorry, guys. For those who don't know, Miss Sanchez has really bad signal at her house, but we're gonna try to make it work as best as we can. Oh, it's still bright outside. Guess it's the downside of living in the country.
Yeah. Can't relate.
We live like right in the middle.
Yeah.
No. Get on top of the house, Ellie.
No?
Wait. Go ahead and say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead and yeah, we actually could hear you better. Go ahead and tell us about yourself.
I was saying this is my 6th year teaching. I teach pre-K this year. And I'm certified up to 6th grade.
Certified up to 6th grade. Okay. Awesome. I did want to ask you guys first before we start the episode, what exactly does your schedule look like? Are you guys off whenever we were off? Like, say if the kids are out for like the summer, are you guys off during those whole 2 months?
For me personally, because I teach summer school and then I do a camp in the summer with the school, I get about 2.5 weeks off. So school gets out, then I need to go to the summer school for 3 to 4 weeks. Then I get another break, and then I have the camp, and then teachers go back to school 2 weeks before the students go back. So we go back to the last 2 weeks of July, and then I'll just continue on with work. So overall, I get about 2 weeks in the summer.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. That's something though.
Something, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What about you, Ellie?
Well, I choose to do summer school, so this year I'll have about a month off.
Okay.
And I go in July.
Okay. Sounds good. We were talking about something before we actually got started. Oh, you guys were talking about what was it? Well, you got to help me out here.
TEA takeover.
Yeah. What is that? So go ahead and dumb it down for people like myself who don't exactly know what that is.
Ricky, can you turn the music down?
Oh yeah, no problem. Give me 1 second.
I cannot hear myself.
Yeah, no problem. Oh yeah, I did have it higher. Is that better? Lower? Okay.
There you go. That's perfect.
Okay, cool.
So TEA is the Texas Education Agency Administration, and basically it's any teacher in Texas. When you get certified, you have to go through TEA.
Uh-huh.
TEA provides, it's like an umbrella worth of things for teachers, administrators, and students. It's where we get our standards for testing for the STAR test.
Okay.
It's the requirements to be a teacher, the testing requirements, everything. So basically it runs education in Texas. And when a school is not performing, or if a school district isn't performing for a extended amount of time, then TEA will essentially take over. People don't like that because it's like Big Brother stepping in and taking over something that's supposed to be like more private.
Yeah.
I think it has happened before in the past to other school districts in Texas. And I don't know if it actually changes anything. Maybe the Board of Educators changes, and I know they're going to change my superintendent. But besides that, I don't really know too much more about what's going to happen.
Okay. And that hasn't happened over there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry? No, go ahead.
What I've heard, the big thing is that it's taking all of like HISD. It's been known to like take over schools, but not really an entire district. So that's where it was a little shocking to hear the news.
Huh.
Yeah, because I guess the school that pushed them over was Wheatley High School, which is located in 5th Ward, which is not too far from where I live, and I used to work in 5th Ward.
Okay.
So I know they're taking over specifically Wheatley, because Wheatley has been a problem school for a really long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and I do want to tell everybody right now that these ladies are in 2 different districts. One of them is in Mesquite, and Miss Starks, where are you located right now?
Oh, in Houston.
Yeah, there you go. So we got one in Houston and one in Mesquite. So it's 2 very different districts, I guess you could say, for the most part.
Yeah.
I guess we could go ahead and get started with the first question that I have for you guys. So first and foremost, what made you guys want to start teaching? Let's go with you, Miss Sanchez.
Yeah. So what made me want to start teaching? So I actually had a bad experience in 7th grade. My ESL teacher, I guess it would be ESL teacher. And just from that bad experience, from then I was like, I want to be a teacher. But when I first started college, I actually started doing nursing, and then I saw that wasn't going to work out, so I just switched over to teaching. So I went back and forth.
I didn't know. Wait, so you had a bad experience with an ESL teacher? What was it that was so bad?
She was just not the best with our class, and it was just an incident that happened, and then my mom got involved, and she talked to the principal, and she was just being really rude, and I just didn't. I was eventually pulled out of her class, and she basically said, "Good luck. Let's see how your grades do." And my mom was like, "I will make sure to bring her report card." So.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
I
about
don't know
you,
if she's still teaching.
You don't know if she's still teaching?
No.
Oh man, that would be great. Well, to know if she's teaching or not. There's so many teachers that I want to know if they're still teaching, but I just can't find them on Facebook. And plus, I forgot their first name, so it's not, whatever, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Miss Starks?
Yeah.
What made you start teaching?
So for me, it's kind of the opposite. So I had a 10th grade social studies teacher. He was my history teacher. His name was Mr. Roberts. And he made me fall in love with history.
Uh-huh.
So I never essentially wanted to be a teacher. I just like history. So I'm a history nerd. Like even in my personal library, I have a bunch of history books. And so after I got out the military and I got my bachelor's degree in Homeland Security and Emergency Management. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go work for the government again. And then I was like, no, let me go get my master's degree. So I got it in Education Administration.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to work my way backwards. So I don't really know if I want to be an administrator, but I have the certification to do so. But I love history, so that made me want to become a history teacher. And so I hate when kids always tell me, oh, you know, Miss Starks, history is boring. But then after they leave my class, no, it's not boring anymore. It's fun. So
Yeah.
I try to make my subject matter really like inviting, because I know a lot of people find history a little boring.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I know from my experience myself, I used to find history so boring, but now that I'm way older, it's like more interesting to me. And I actually will go online and go like to like documentaries on Discovery and just, you know, start scrolling through just random stuff from back in the day. I don't know, just history itself just is more interesting to me now than it was back then. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is though. I don't know if I just had the wrong teachers or what it was. But how do you deal with the bad kids, Miss Starks?
So like I was telling you a little bit before we went live, the type of school that I work with, all the kids are bad kids. They're all the kids that a lot of other school districts wouldn't put up with, or schools wouldn't put up with in my district, and they get sent to like high school.
Yeah.
But the term bad is relative for me. A lot of these kids don't know right from wrong just because they weren't taught that. Like you'd be surprised how many kids, their parents are younger than me, okay? And I'm only 29. So that can tell you a lot about like who's raising them.
Yeah.
So the kids act out because of the way they grew up, the lack of resources, the lack of understanding the material. A lot of times kids act out when you tell them to read or something and they don't want to because they don't know how to read.
Yeah.
So like you have all these outside influences affecting the kid. You just got to figure out what specific thing it is, and you flip that switch and the kid will go from zero, like on 100 to 0, and their whole personality will change. So building relationships with your students makes those harder exteriors fall off, and then kids, they're no longer bad. I've had some of like the quote unquote worst kids put into my class like, oh, Miss Stark, you can handle this kid. And I'm like, they don't even give me a problem. Because one, you know, I demand respect. You can have an attitude, you can be having a bad day, whatever the case may be, we're going to get through it, but you're going to be respectful. Number two is, I don't always go into the situation trying to be like this hard ass teacher, like, oh, I'm in charge, you're going to listen to me. I'm like, I give the kids options. You can stay and learn, or you can, you know, you can leave. Because I don't care if I'm teaching one kid, at the end of the day, you're not going to disrupt my learning environment because you want to show your ass. And the kids respond very well to it because they like, oh, this teacher actually cares about my future.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
But you're right. What about you, Miss Sanchez? How do you deal with the badass kids? Are they bad kids at pre-K? Let me ask you that.
You know, it's my first year teaching pre-K, and I do have one, you know, but I can still work with him. I know there's always that one, never, always in school, first one there, last one out. But like Ms. Stark said, building relationships with the students and his family, his mom, and having that communication with the parent does help. We talk a lot, and I think that's going to be a question, like social emotional behavior, because he is 4 years old. He doesn't really know how to control his emotions.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of that teaching in pre-K to begin with, but mostly that in pre-K. So they're not as bad, but we have criers still.
Wow. So, I mean, have you had any other bad kids in the past where you just remember them just because of the bad experience that you had with them?
Yes. I have a list. Like, I'm trying to tell you. So I have a list from the time I've been teaching, 5 years. Okay. I have about 5 kids on that list. I'm like, I need to check back on them by the time they turn 18 to see where they're at. Because I'm trying to tell you, a lot of people don't want to say that, but there are kids who are bad. You know they're bad because of whatever, you know, they're kids. It's a combination of them being kids and like whatever else. But then there are kids who you're like, oh, this kid's a sociopath. Like, there's nothing you can do as a teacher, as a person, as a human, that's gonna save that kid. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a genetic flaw. And I have like 5 of them. I'm like, I'm gonna check in on these kids in 18 years to see where they're at. And you think I'm joking, but there's so many teachers who have been teaching longer than me. Like my PE teacher at my school, he said there's been like 2 or 3 kids. He's like, oh, I know that kid's gonna be like a rotten apple. And we'll look at the news and the kid is like in jail for double murder or something crazy like that. And I'm so serious.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Ellie? Have you dealt with do you still remember these really bad kids?
You know, not really kid-wise. There was one parent. It was a parent that would always, she was set to get me all year. But I had really good admin and she would defend me. But it wasn't even her son, it was her. She would just make stuff up. So,
like what?
Well, basically that I picked on her son, that I didn't like him. And I'm like, ma'am, that is nothing. She'd go up to the school and demand to talk to me. And they're like, that's not how it works. You need to contact her, make a conference. And then, and I was like, I'm not talking to her. I was like, no. And she would wait for me after school outside. I'm like, no, I'm going inside.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Parents are hands down probably the worst part of teaching. Like,
really?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, literally, like I can't even say that's the worst part. It's just a big part of it. And she's not lying. There have been parents who have came up to the school wanting to fight me, demanding conferences with me and stuff. Like, this is not how this works. You don't just get to come up here and say, I'm going to speak to this teacher. No, and we can refuse. Like, if we don't feel safe or whatever, I can refuse. I don't have to talk to you.
Wow.
I do not have to talk to you.
There's this comment that my wife said. She said, you have to have so much patience to be a teacher. With 3 boys, I go crazy, and I always try my best to show that my appreciation to the teachers. And she really does. Whenever we have most of the teachers that we've had with my sons, they're freaking great. So therefore, my wife shows her appreciation because she makes stuff for them. She'll buy them stuff, and I get kind of annoyed by it. But at the end of the day, it's like, you're dealing with my kid. You're doing your best. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't have that. I don't have parent involvement at my school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so sorry about that.
Do you think maybe because they're older?
Oh, yeah. Maybe because they are older.
No, it's because where I teach is very low income.
Oh, that's why. Is there a reason why you chose to go there, or is it because the principal wanted you there?
It's partly because the principal wanted me there, but I always teach in like low income schools. I always teach in Title I schools. I always teach in schools that need a lot of TLC.
Oh, okay. So it's all you then.
It's a choice, 100%.
It's a choice. Okay. Have you ever had to call CPS on a parent, Miss Elizabeth?
I have not.
You have not?
Nope, I have not.
What about you, Miss Starks?
I call CPS all the time.
Really? You're lying.
No, I'm so serious.
What?
100%.
What was the most recent one that you can remember?
2 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into detail, or is it too much?
No, I don't play any of that. Like, you know, when it's too quiet, like, you know, when your kids are home and it's too quiet and you're like, everyone come downstairs, I need to see your face because you're too quiet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, as a dad, you do that. Like, why are the kids so quiet?
Yeah.
We have students who will just fall off the face of the planet. Like, they've been gone for 3, 4, 5 weeks. Where are you at? And I will send those people to your house. I need to see your face. And a lot of times when we go up there, the kid is just at home. Like, what are you doing? And the mom or the dad will be like, oh, yeah, we just didn't feel like going to school. It's always something crazy. I've called CPS on parents when the kids were getting beat, okay? Like, they got physical abuse.
Yeah.
Or students, I have such a good relationship with my students. They will literally tell me, like, Ms. Starks, this is happening at home. Like,
yeah,
it can be any type of abuse. Oh, I'm reporting you right away. Like, I don't care. You're not eating for days. I'm reporting you. Your mom is in Vegas and you're at home. I'm reporting you. You haven't gone to school in 3 weeks. I'm reporting you. You come to school every day with the same shirt on with holes in it. I'm reporting you. What are you doing?
Wow.
And before like I like with the stuff with like the clothes and everything, because I deal with a lot of poor kids. We'll
Yeah.
send you upstairs and give you a school shirt and pants and shoes and underwear and socks and everything. But if it keeps on happening, that's an issue, you know, because we have resources at the school because we work with poor kids.
Yeah.
You can wash your clothes at the school. You can take a shower at the school. You can go to the pantry and get food. So, you know, like there's a lot of resources. If you're not using them and you're just sending your child to school every other 3 weeks and you're like eclipse and I only see you once every full moon. No,
Yeah.
we're not doing that.
Oh, wow. You know, I've only heard stories about that, but that just to hear that actually happens, that people neglect their kids, is crazy to me.
Yeah. School is a safety net for a lot of children because if they didn't have school, a lot of stuff would fly under the radar.
So, for you, Ellie, would you consider the school that you teach to be a better, like, I guess, I don't know, a good environment?
So my first 5 years I was at a Title I school, but even then, I do teach bilingual kids, and I see more of the issues in like gen ed classes that I've noticed. When I first started student teaching in Denton, there was a case. I was just a student teacher, but I was there when the teacher called CPS.
Wow.
Just because of and he was a little 5-year-old. So he shared a story basically of abuse of his little sister. So she had to call CPS, but I haven't witnessed, like with my students, they haven't shared out or like the whole, the poor, they don't have money. I do have a student this year that's like that, but the mom is taking care of the resources and we actually communicate really often. So nothing alarming to me from any of my kids.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to get back to that one. Let me go to the next question. Some districts are switching over to a 4-day school week. How do you guys feel about that? Let's go with you, Ms. Starks.
Please, I need the 4 days. Let me tell you something. If I was in charge of the school district, I would have 4 days and they would be block schedules. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I would have it where you would do like your core classes and you would spend like 2.5 hours in each one with like brain breaks in between, like a physical education. Then on like Fridays would be your like arts and bands and like electives and stuff. And then that's it. Give teachers 3 days. Give me a day to just decompress, a day to like spend time with my family, a day to plan, and then I'll go back at it. But like you don't have to squish everything, all 7-8 classes into 1 day every single day for 5 days. We don't have to do that. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Is there? Oh yeah, you said you teach history right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about you, Ellie?
So that was actually proposed this year at my district, but it did not go through. Mostly all teachers, even parents, did want to go to a 4-day week, but the board just decided that there's not enough evidence, and we would be like the first big district to do it. So they just didn't want to go through with it, but it was really sad because we all wanted 4 days.
Yeah, I bet. So do you guys think there are more pros and cons with that?
I'm going to tell you the reason why it didn't pass on Miss Ellie's end or my end in a big school district. It's because people think teachers are babysitters. So if my kid is not at school, what am I going to do with my kid? I don't know. That's a parent problem. You're a parent. Figure it out.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
yes,
that
you're going to work and it's a 5-day thing, but it's like the parents that I deal with every day, they don't even go to work. They don't go to work. They don't do anything.
Wow. So you know what? You're absolutely right. I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, you are absolutely right. That's probably why. Good. That's a good take on that, Ms. Starks. So I mean, how do you guys feel about the STAR test? Ellie?
I don't like it. I mean, my first year teaching, I was a 3rd grade teacher,
Yeah.
And it's so stressful for the teacher and the kids, and it doesn't really prove anything. I mean, we do get data, but students still get to go to the next grade level. They just start shaving off classes once they hit middle school. Middle school is what I noticed.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Because they actually held me up a grade because I didn't pass my STAR test. Or back then it was the
TAP.
yeah. So they actually held me up a grade because I didn't pass my reading part of it, and it was pretty depressing, honestly, to see everybody go up a grade, and here I am, like, well, I'm going back to third grade. Everybody's going to fourth.
That's true. I think it definitely depends on the principal, but also I know if you don't pass it, like right now that they're testing, you get to do like summer school and try again. So they let them do that.
Man,
well.
those a-holes didn't even offer that to me. They just said like, nope, we're holding you back. They didn't offer that to me at all, and that sucked. Like, there was nothing I could do from there because I was like a little chubby 10-year-old, and I was like, oh. What about you, Miss Starks? What do you think about the STAR test?
Okay, so we just had our first STAR test today for English reading, and I'm gonna have to agree with Miss Elizabeth. You do get data, and data plays a huge role for a lot of school districts, but standardized testing is like a double-edged sword because there's a lot of kids who are really bad testers, but they're really good in the academic. Like me, I'm a great tester. But I know the strategies to test. Doesn't necessarily mean I know the information. I can get a 90 on a test about a subject matter I know absolutely nothing about just because I know how to take a test.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I know the subject matter. So
yeah,
and as a teacher, I didn't even know this. Let me know if you know this, Elizabeth. Did you know that you can opt out of the STAR and it doesn't affect you at all? I didn't know that.
I was just about to ask both of you that. Do you?
But they strongly, like, even if a parent brings it up, the principal's like, no, they have to. No, they have to. Like, the parent really needs to be informed and have their information. But no, you do not. The kid does not have to.
And it will not affect you going. It will not affect you going to the next grade. And you could have contested you being held back. If you are passing all of your core classes and your attendance is good, you can go to the next grade. STAR doesn't necessarily determine you getting held back because technically you don't have to take it. But like, I understand why if, your grades are really bad and you're struggling with reading and English and stuff, why they would want to hold you back. But like, yeah, you don't have to take the STAR.
That is crazy. And see, I was going to ask you that, like, is there any, way you can be exempt from taking a test? Like, what if your parents don't want you to test it?
Yeah.
What's a good way to dispute that with the principal district or whatever? Like, who would you go with first to actually try to dispute that?
The principal and say, I don't want my child taking this.
Hey, I'm wondering, because I do follow this Facebook page that's all like basically parents that are against the STAR test, and they all said the same thing. Like I try to get my child out of the STAR test, but the principal is fighting me on it and whatnot, and basically everything that you guys said. And that's what I wanted to ask you guys, like, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know there's that's going on that page, so I wanted to see what you guys thought about it and what kind of advice would you give like a parent like myself who kind of doesn't it's kind of on the fence on that.
I feel like if your kid is passing all their classes and you just want a baseline for how they're doing, go ahead and let them take the STAR. My parents made me take the standardized tests too, but you shouldn't be upset if your child doesn't necessarily do good on it. Like my parents, they would be upset. This type of parents they are, but like Miss Elizabeth said, the kids get so like stressed out about it. They shut down the whole school. You can't move anywhere for 6 hours. The lunch is pushed back. You're tired because you start right at 9 a.m. The kids today didn't even finish at 3 o'clock. So
it's a depressing week. Like to be completely honest.
Yeah.
It's like nobody looks forward to the STAR test or any type of testing because it's just like, I don't know. It's like a whole different. It's like a black hole basically for a whole week.
And as a coach, it irritates me because like we have track meets, right? We're going to regionals for the high school I teach at. I teach at high school too. And we couldn't pull our kids out, and we're like, we're gonna miss the meet. If you miss the meet, you can't go to state. So
Exactly.
yeah.
No, there's all that going on, and no, I don't like that either. So, what grade levels have you guys taught, Miss Starks?
6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 11th.
Jesus Christ! So no elementary for you.
I would never. Hats off to elementary school teachers. Hats off to special education teachers and all that. Couldn't do it. Did not have the patience.
You know what? I get it. I get it. What about you, Ellie?
I've done nothing but elementary. So 3rd, 2nd, kinder, and pre-K.
3rd, 2nd, pre. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So where are you guys planning on going next? Like what grade level?
I'm going back to high school after next year.
Back to high school. Okay. What about you, Ellie?
I plan to stay on in pre-K.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So no more
Is
switching.
it just easier for you?
Pre-K?
Yeah.
Dude, this is my first year teaching pre-K, but I've been so stress-free, like as far as being a teacher. Yeah, the kids are stressful, but that's a different kind of stress than...
Do you have to lesson plan?
Yes, I do, yeah. And we follow curriculum and everything, but I feel more free, like I can do more activities, creativity is everywhere.
That's true.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I guess it just whatever works for you, right?
Yeah.
You like high school and Ellie likes elementary.
Yeah.
I'm rude. I like high school because sometimes I gotta talk to you a little crazy, and I can't do that to a little kid.
So do you agree with the way the school system is ran?
Nope.
Ellie? Let's go with you, Ellie. Do you?
The school system?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I wish they would just listen to teachers. I will say the principals really make a difference though. I've had 2 principals. This one I have right now is awesome. Like I love going to work. So principals make a difference.
So you're saying like if you have a good principal, you have a good system.
She makes it better. Like she knows what is worth our time and what is not. She's like, no, like don't even do that. Or she's like, no, you need to take time and do this. And we're like, and I listen to her because I'm like, okay, like
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. What about you said no, Miss Starks, right? And why not?
Yeah. So there are 2, I'm gonna get back to what Ellie said, but there are too many people at like the higher levels, like outside of the actual school itself, who are making decisions who have never actually been in the classroom, which boggles my mind. How can you make decisions about education never taught? Just like in the military, you have to make your way up from E1 to E5, E6. I didn't just get to be a sergeant, right? I had to work my way up. Why do people not have to work their way up in the education system? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
But having a good principal makes my principal right now, love her. She's like a drill sergeant. She's like the same way with everyone, the kids, the parents, the teachers. Like she's hard, but like you know that she does it for like a reason, right?
Yeah.
She runs it like a tight ship, and that's what we. I've had principals in the past where I loved the kids, but I couldn't stand the principal. Like I got to get out of here because I'm not going to work every day, going to pretend like I like being here when I don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I hope you guys keep getting a lot of good principals because honestly, it sounds like if they have your back, you pretty much know how it works. So I do want to get to this little controversial question right here. We hear many cases of teachers having inappropriate relationships with students. How do you guys think this happens, and why has it gotten worse throughout the years? Let's start with you. Ellie, because I feel like Miss Starks is gonna have a good
yeah, I was gonna say that's all her because I don't know. I teach little kids.
You're right. You know what? You're right. You don't hear a lot of inappropriateness happening to little kids. Well, you might.
No, I have not.
I'm gonna be real with you, Ricky. I don't think it's new. I think it's documented now because we have access to social media.
Social media, that's what it is.
And like cell phones, because I will tell you, I think my parents will tell you, when I was in school, in my parents' school, you would see like relationships between like teachers and like students.
Yeah.
But no one would really talk about it because it was just like whatever. It was like taboo kind of, you know what I'm saying? No one just spoke about it. Because I remember when I was in high school, my track coach was like dating a senior, like right after she graduated. She was like 18, and everyone was like, oh, they were talking during school, but they just like waited.
Yeah.
But because she was 18 and like nothing happened like in front of us, nobody like cared. And that was I graduated high school almost 13 years ago, and this was my freshman year, so that was like 16 years ago, right?
Jeez.
So, but like for me, I think it happens. It's like I said, it's not happening more. I think it's just coming to light more, just because of all the access we have to social media.
That's honestly true, because I used to go to a private school, so it was like its own private district, but I had a good relationship with one of our teachers at there. Like we were like really like friends. I'm not talking about like inappropriately. We're just like really good friends. But he would tell me what type of relationship, that kind of stuff he used to have with some of the students. I'm not going to go ahead and mention any names because, like I said, just to protect their privacy. But yeah, he used to tell me that he used to have relationships with this girl and that girl, and in my head I'm like, bro, you're married. Like, oh, like I don't.
The thing. There's you think the military is bad with like people and infidelity? Nah, teachers, they don't care about marriage, relationship, or anything. Like some of the stuff I see, I'm like, you're gross.
So has any of that happened at your school, since you're the one that teaches like the most, I guess?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
It's more like teachers who are married sleeping with all the other teachers.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I heard about that back in high school too. Yeah. And it was crazy because I think it was it was a male and female teachers that were married together, and then she was messing around with an English teacher who everybody thought he was gay. And
those be the ones that you never suspect.
It blew our mind, honestly, whenever we found out like, oh, she's cheating on him with this guy. We're like, what?
Yeah.
I was in complete shock. I was like, whoa, okay, wow, that's crazy. But I guess you're right. There's more teachers, sleeping with other teachers.
It happens so much. It's disgusting.
Okay, so how do you guys feel about the teacher salary, Ellie?
We need more.
We need more. I don't want to, like, what's the base pay for a beginning, for like a starting off teacher, I guess?
Actually, they're making way more than what I made when I first started.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's been a whole thing right now. We are getting like raises, supposedly significant raises. We haven't heard how much, but that was said in a board meeting.
Wow.
So I'm like very open with like my students about how much I make, because I want them to make wise decisions about the career paths they want to take. So if a kid asks me, I straight up tell them. So when I worked in Spring ISD, they actually paid me more because they pay you based on your education. So bachelor's degrees start off at this much, and then like master's degrees start off at this much, right? So I was making a lot. Then when I moved into HISD, they don't care about how much degrees you have. So like,
what?
It's not if I'm getting my doctorate, right? Everyone starts on the scale by how many years you have. But because the school I work at, I get a $10,000 bonus. So my pay before taxes, like on paper, is 73. Okay. This is before taxes, but I'm also the department chair of social studies. So I get a stipend for that. And then I get a stipend for being the track coach and the cheer coach. So in order to make money in education, you have to do 100 extracurricular things. So when we both do summer school, we get paid extra. Any type of camps or anything we do, we get paid extra. But it shouldn't be like that, because like I told you before we started, I spend about $5,000 every year out of my own pocket on the kids. But we
you did say that. You did say that.
Yeah, but we can only write off $250.
Wow, is that the same for you,
For writing, what? Like salary wise?
Yeah. Well, she said she's only able to write off $250 for on what she spends.
Yes, that's true.
And everything else, like, but damn, $5,000 off your own money.
Yes.
Wow.
Like,
I've never totaled mine, but every time I go to the store, it's something for the kids. I'm like, oh,
Really?
or
yes.
my parents have now started chipping in because like the boys made it to regionals for track and they don't have running shoes. So I called my dad. My dad sent down 4 pairs of really expensive running shoes for the kids because they were running in like shoes you're not supposed to run in. So it's just like little things like that. Oh, I need something to eat. I didn't eat breakfast today. I don't have anything to wear. It's raining outside. You're standing outside in shorts. Now you need a jacket. It's just I'm a mom to 100, 200 kids.
Seriously, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember back then some teachers used to have a secondary job just to make their ends meet, and I don't think is that still the case, or is that
Summer school?
Summer school. If I don't do summer school, I'll go work. I know me personally. I was the manager at a gas station one summer. I worked at Lowe's. My baby sister is a teacher. She worked at Lowe's with me. I have 2 teachers at my school who work. One works at Starbucks. 2 work at Home Depot. We all have like other stuff we do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
No, it's
Man,
not.
you guys should be getting paid more though.
I should have to go to I should have to clock in another job.
Yeah.
That sucks so bad. Yeah, nobody wants to do that.
No.
Will you guys teach any other subjects? Starks?
Yeah.
You would what?
I'm certified in health as well.
Oh, okay. You teach science classes.
No, it's like health, like anatomy, physiology.
Oh, okay, that kind of health.
Yeah. Sexual
Gotcha.
reproduction, yeah.
What about you, Ellie?
I mean, I can teach any core subject.
Any core subject?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Up
English.
to 6th grade.
Oh, that's right. You did say that.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about how bullying is being handled, Ellie?
Well, as far as elementary level, as soon as you say bullying or the parent says bullying, they have to open a report. And then the assistant principal is supposed to investigate and find out what is happening, what was said. And many of the times it's not really like a bullying case. The kid just uses the word loosely.
Because they're being mean.
Yeah, like they don't know what it actually means. But if it is severe, that's more of like the assistant principal that investigates.
Like further into it.
Yeah, to report back to the parent or whatever she needs to fill out. But me personally, I have not witnessed it in my classroom or with my kids that I had to do anything with it.
Oh, okay. What about you, Ms. Starks?
I guess we would have to define bullying. I don't know if you know this, Ricky, but when I got my master's degree, we have to take this class about educational, like psychology.
Uh-huh.
And you learn about the threshold of suffering based on race. So white people, Black people, Asian people, and like Hispanic people have different thresholds of suffering. Basically, say we lined up one person from each race and we gave them the same like challenge or obstacle in life, different races would handle it differently, right?
Yeah.
So Black people have the highest threshold, meaning things that would affect the other races don't affect Black people because of their outlook on life or whatever they go through naturally. So the same thing that a kid who is white would say, oh, that's bullying, a Black person wouldn't even say like it's bullying, right? So that's why when it comes to school shootings and stuff, it's like a very specific demographic, right?
Yeah.
We don't have bullying at my school because everyone is poor and everyone is going through the same things of not having food or like essentials. So there's no like bullying per se. The kids fight. Oh yeah, they fight, but no, that's not bullying.
That's not bullying. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I guess for my school personally, we don't have any cases of bullying because if there's a problem or the issue, the kids will handle it themselves.
Yeah.
Right. Like let's step outside. Let's step in like they'll fight in the classroom, in the lunchroom, outside. It doesn't matter. That's how they handle the situation. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Dang, Ellie. So if you ever see that, just get little Oscar and little Johnny on the side and give them boxing gloves and let them handle it.
Man, back in the day when my parents was in school, that's probably how they would handle it. But
right?
Yeah.
Man, I lost my questions. Give me 1 second. Bullying being handled. Give me 1 second. Oh, there it is. All right, Ms. Starks. So, what strategies do you use to keep your students engaged and motivated?
I don't like I said, I don't like anything to be boring. So I have nowadays in one classroom, in a general ed classroom, you have the general kids, you have the advanced placement kids, you have the English language learner kids, you have the kids who have IEPs and 504s, like the special ed kids, and they're all in one classroom, but you're teaching the same material to all of them. So you have to make it in a way where everybody understands it.
Okay.
When I'm teaching my material, like I'll start off by just teaching the material, and then we'll do a project, very hands-on and artsy for the kids who learn better that way. And then I'll do like a test because you still need to get some data. And then I'll show a documentary or a movie about it so you get the visual from it. So I try to give it the same piece of information in like 4 different ways. So they can, if you're not good at one of those ways or you don't understand one way of it, you're going to understand the other 3 or 4 ways that I'm giving it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Ellie?
It's the same thing. I'm like, it's like we're trying to entertain all these kids.
Yeah.
What didn't work for one kid will work for the other. Our thing is a lot of hands-on visuals. And I like to ask them, and I was like, what was your favorite part about today? So I take that into mind. Oh, they really liked this activity that we did. Oh, they liked it because did we use something they liked? Or I just try to incorporate any of that. But that's always a question I ask, just to see what their interest is and what they reacted to.
Okay. Man, so how many days of school do you guys have left?
We get out June. The kids get out May 30th, and we get out June 1st. So I don't know how many. Is that 4 weeks?
I think like about 4 weeks now.
Yeah, 4 weeks. Yeah, after this week.
Thank you,
Oh,
Jesus.
Y'all get off June 1st. I think my last day May 30.
Yeah, well, the kids' last day is May 30th or May 31st, and then we have to come back that last day just to clean up. But my class will clean up last week of May.
Yeah.
Is the cleanup such a hassle? Because I mean, I don't know if you guys use the same room that you previously used, if you want to teach the same grade level, or how does that work?
First of all, they tell me every year, because when you're certified through a lot of subjects, they'll just, if they know a lot of teachers are not coming back, they'll move you to a grade. So I probably won't be teaching the grade I'm teaching now next year.
Oh,
Then number 2, you never get the same classroom ever. So you take all your stuff out, you have to put it in your car and you lug it home and you need to bring it back. So.
What about you, Ellie? Since you want to teach pre-K again, do you think they're going to tell you like, hey, just use the same classroom you have right now, just leave your stuff right there?
Yeah, it's normal to stay in the same classroom unless you're moving grade levels.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope that makes it
so
easier
hopefully
for
I
you.
do stay in the same classroom.
Yeah, that's a lot less
everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. Let's move on to the next question. Ellie, how do you balance teaching core academic subjects with teaching social and emotional skills?
Can you hear me? You were cutting off a little.
Oh, I'm sorry. How do you balance teaching core academic subjects with teaching social and emotional skills?
Well, right now this year, that's already incorporated in my time. So SEL, because they are 4 and 5 year olds, I have to teach them that every day, every week. We teach about a different characteristic, and we basically tell them how to react and give them examples.
Wow.
But that's already built into my schedule.
Okay. Oh man, I bet you that's a whole lot different than what you have dealing with right now, isn't it, Ms. Starks?
Okay, so our counselors do a really good job about putting out the SEL stuff that we're supposed to do, and I do not do it. You know why? I don't have time. You guys want these test scores to be high for the star. I'm worrying about core subject material. Do you know about Manifest Destiny or not? Like, I don't have time to take 30 minutes out of my class to teach you about your feelings. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I would like to, trust me, I would 100% like to. I just do not have time to do it. But they give me the curriculum to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. What advice do you have for parents who want to support their children's learning at home? Starks.
Okay. My advice to you is put yourself in your students in your child's shoes and then in your teacher's shoes, because I get a lot of complaints about like just dumb stuff that parents complain about, and it's like, do you want me to raise your child too? Like, am I getting a paycheck for raising your child? And it's like, you guys wanted to go home with you as well and like be at home with you and do your child's homework and the schooling and take care of your kid, when literally that is part of being a parent. Like, doing schoolwork and helping your child with projects or homework or whatever the case may be that I don't even give anyways, should be something that you should be doing with your child at night before bed anyways, and bonding with them. So have patience, just like you want us to have patience with your child. Don't get frustrated with your child. Hear their concerns and do the best that you can. And if you need help with something, write a note, send it back with your kid, and we'll do the best that we can to help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Ellie? What advice do you have for parents who want to support their children's learning at home?
I'm sorry, I missed your part because I was trying to find signal.
No. Yeah, I had a feeling because you came back in another little
I'm
bar,
like
and
walking
okay.
around like this.
Yeah, you look like you were in the Blair Witch Project.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay,
you're good.
what advice do I have for parents? Honestly, just reading a book to a kid. Just reading every day. Show interest.
Yeah, do you guys think that that's something that every parent should do? Just like, well, I mean, for little kids, because I have like 3 little boys at home, and the first thing teachers tell us is like read to them basically every night, and I feel like that is important. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't do it as much as I should, but I do feel like that's necessary for kids to basically understand the whole reading process, and for all of the material to get injected into their brain and just do better in school, honestly.
Ricky, I have parents who are like literally 32 years old who can't read.
You're lying to me.
No, I'm 100%. My mom came up and she was like, well, I was like, hey, your son is like at a 3rd grade, 2nd grade reading level. He's in 8th grade. Can we do something about it? And she was like, well, his dad is 32 and he can't read and he has a job. And I was like, why are you proud of this?
I know. What?
There's like multiple issues here. Like, there's so many issues here.
What?
Yeah,
you know
so
what?
I sorry.
Go ahead.
I actually have to send out videos on how to like help your student. So for us, we do a lot of like the Spanish alphabet, so letters and sounds, and like the parents don't know the letter name or sounds, so I have to record myself and send it, and they use that to like do every night with their kid because they don't know it either.
That is a good question. Do you guys think that technology has advanced so much throughout the years that it's actually helped you guys more in your process of teaching?
No, I don't like to use technology in my classroom. It's a distraction. Like, no, I'm being serious. Like, the kids, they complain sometimes that we don't use laptops in my room.
Yeah.
No, we don't. You're gonna write, because one, you don't know how to write. Your penmanship, abysmal. You don't know how to read. So let's start with opening a book and highlighting and annotating, and let's get back to the basics. I think technology is a privilege and we're just passing it out. Technology for the kids who are reading and writing and annotating and understanding and focus. You already have all these ADHDs and ADDs and I can't focus, help me. So I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you focus. We're getting rid of the laptop. Go ahead and crack open that the little paper I gave you and get to highlighting and writing, because you don't even know how to do that. You get the computer when you know how to do that. Let's start there.
You know what? You make so much sense, breaking that down, because I didn't think about it like that, but you're absolutely right.
You can't write. Why do you get a laptop? You literally do not know how to hold your pencil and you're in 9th grade. No.
My wife said, "Oh my God, I hate that so much. I've seen a few parents that think bragging about their kids being lazy is a good thing."
No, and you should be embarrassed, and you should be embarrassed.
One question that my wife did have: Did you ever have a parent go to the school and handle bullying themselves? I guess what she means is like, I don't think. Well, you guys didn't have a crazy story like that where the kids were being bullied, but I guess she meant like.
Do I have parents go to the school and fight other parents? 100%. Do I have parents pull up after their children have fought, and when the kid lost, the parents are like, "Oh no, you guys are fighting again"? Absolutely. Have I had parents pull up and try to fight children? 100%. Like, they won't come to an open house or a meet the teacher or a parent-teacher conference, but you're pulling up to fight another parent, or you're pulling up to fight a child. Priorities. Let's get it together, people. Let's get it together, people.
Man, parents are crazy as hell nowadays. Then, I guess because they're so young too.
100%. Why are you 28 and your child is 15? Let's start there.
Did we lose Ellie? Oh no, she's there.
I'm here. I'm moving around.
You went completely black. I was like, oh shit, we lost her again.
I got a message.
Yeah, that's what she said earlier too. What are some of the most rewarding experiences you had as a teacher, Ellie?
Honestly, I still have like relationships with past students. They still reach out to me. Their parents still reach out to me. And I really like that. I have parents that offer to buy me stuff for the following school year all the time.
Yes. My wife has actually done that too, because I believe there's a certain time of the year where you get school supplies very cheap. So she likes to buy the bundles so we can give them to the teachers, and I think that helps them out pretty well throughout the year.
Tell your wife to buy me some supplies.
What about you, Ms. Starks? What are some of the most rewarding experiences you had as a teacher?
I don't even like to cry, but I've like cried about 2 times. When the kids come back after graduation, they tell me about how they're doing, or they invite me to their graduation from high school, or they just tell me like, Ms. Starks, you were my favorite teacher. Like, I've had kids all the way, like, started with me in 6th grade and in 9th grade now, like, just give me the step-by-step of how they're doing. They'll reach out to me still. Like, the kids get on my nerves real bad, but I love them at the same time. Like, when they just reach out to me and tell me about all their accomplishments, I'm like, oh my God, I love you guys. Like, you guys are doing so good,
Yeah. Well, that's awesome to hear, because I'm pretty sure, like, my son, my oldest one, all of his teachers have ended up loving that kid because he just talks so much, and he's like the nicest kid in the world.
Yeah.
So I believe like that's why he's making a mark in his teachers, because he's like the nicest kid, and I don't know, the most friendliest kid in the world. So we never get any bad, I guess, feedback on him, but
That's
at least
good.
try not to. Though there was one year, but I feel like that teacher was after him though.
It could be. Some teachers put their personal, biases in teaching.
Well, this is the way I see it, because we had that teacher was complaining about him throughout the last semester of school. But after that, we had no issues with him. Like, everything was good. All the other teachers were loved him. They nothing but good feedback, basically. And we were even talking to each other like, hey, so why is it that he had, like, this guy had a problem with him, but none of the other teachers had a problem?
Yeah.
I don't know, that type of thing. What are some of the biggest changes you've seen in education over the course of your career? Let's go with you, Ms. Starks.
I would say teachers putting too much of their personal lives. Teachers are sharing too much of their personal lives with the kids.
How's that?
I'm glad I live in the great state of Texas, where we're kind of, a little bit more conservative, because I don't like to know about my coworkers at all. And I don't think that the kids should really know about your life either. And I just feel like your personal life should be separate from teaching. And I feel like I get on social media and I'm just seeing the inside of everyone's classroom. Like, what are you doing? I don't want anyone to know where I work. I don't want anyone to know the name of the school I work at. I don't want the kids to know my outside jobs or who I hang out with or what I do. Like, you guys are bringing too much of your personal life into your workplace. Make it stop immediately.
I get you. What about you, Ellie?
I would say that they're asking for more every year from both teachers and students. There's always something new to add, and that doesn't seem to stop.
Ellie, do you do the thing? I do this all the time, Ellie, because she's 100% correct. They have given us so much stuff that we have to, because like teachers, we get rated. Did you know that? So we get rated by if we're proficient, excellent, or like doing bad. And they like, your rater will come in with like a checklist of everything that needs to be displayed by you as a teacher during your 45 to 55 minute lesson. And it's impossible. So it is impossible literally to put all of the stuff that you're supposed to have in one class period. The class period would have to be like, it would have to be like 2 hours long. So how you get around that is when they ask you for all of these things, you have the legal right to say, okay, I need you to come back to my class, and I need you to like show me how to do it. Your rater or your administrator, whoever marked you down for that, has to come back and show you how to do it. And whenever you say that, then all of a sudden they're busy and they don't know what's going on.
Do you normally get a heads up whenever you're gonna get graded or rated? You
get informal walkthroughs and then you get formal walkthroughs.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes they can just pop up and be like, "This is your formal walkthrough," and they sit down and they in the back of their classroom for 45 minutes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
you can also not agree with what they rate you and say, that's not right, and that's a discussion between you and the principal. But I've never had to do that. But I actually have my meeting on Thursday for that.
I've never had to either. I've always got rated proficient or higher, which is good. But there are some people I know who've gotten like 1s and 2s.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, yeah.
Here's some of the things that my wife remembers that the teacher used to text her, because he used to text her every day. So he texted her every single day that Yadiel was touching the walls. For example, Yadiel wanted to have lunch at school today instead of his lunch. It got so bad because, at the time that he was complaining all about my son, it was the time that my wife had just had I think it was our baby. And so she was just very annoyed by all this complaining that she just decided to call the principal, because he's literally, just complaining about every little thing.
That's crazy. I try not to reach out to parents unless I really have to. For example, I had a kid bite another kid this week, then I had to reach out to both parents. But if it's little things like you're not listening, I'm not going to reach out to parents unless I absolutely need to.
Oh, that's true.
The older grades you get, the less parent contact you have. When I was teaching high school, I didn't call parents at all. For what?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like being involved with my kid. Want to know how he's doing, if he's doing good, if he's doing bad. It matters to me. So I want some sort of feedback just to know exactly what he needs to work on. And I know they send packets out every Tuesday from his class to just to let us know what he's working on, what he's doing good on, what he needs to be working on. And sometimes whenever I see that he needs to be working on stuff, I get onto him about that, because you know how they say that our kids are representing us at the end of the day. That's literally how I see it. You're representing me. If I go to the school, your teacher's gonna be looking at me like if I'm the problem.
Well, how old is your son?
He is. I'm sorry, I have to think about it because I have 3. He's 8 right now. He's 8 right now.
That makes sense. At that age, you should have a lot of contact with the teacher. But I'm telling you right now, Ricky, when your kids get middle school, you'll have contact. But when they get into high school, like unless they're doing something crazy, your teacher probably won't reach out to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense then. Well, we are reaching the end of the show. I do have a few more questions before it's all over, though. What advice do you have for aspiring teachers? Let's go with you. Let's go with Ellie.
No, let's go.
Okay, let's go with Ms. Starks then.
Think about
I'm gonna be real with you. If you should not get into teaching unless you love students and you love your subject matter. Because if you just are trying to get into it for money per se, you will be gone within 3 years. You have to love, and I do mean love what you do, or you're not going to last.
Wow. Well, that's a good.
It's a thankless job. It is thankless. Like, I'm serious.
I feel like that has to follow in the same category as everything else that you do in life. You have to love what you do, because if not, you're going to be miserable. If you want to be an accountant, you have to love accounting. You have to love numbers. If you want to be a, let's say, a CD driver, you have to, all that stuff. A nurse, for example, you can't just go in thinking about money, because you're going to be gone within you said, a few days, a few weeks. You're going to be trying to do something else. But that falls into the same category, I feel, like everything else in your life. What about you, Ellie?
I definitely agree. Loving your job, the children especially. You need to basically start each day with a clean slate. No matter what happened yesterday, it's a new day. The kid doesn't even know what he did, so you're starting over again. I will definitely add that you need to love like the school you're at. If you're not happy where you're at, move. Like, I was scared to move my first 5 years, so I finally moved. And I'm like, wow. There's better.
There's better.
Yeah.
So before the episode started, I did have a video that I wanted to show you guys. Ellie, did you hear about that school, or that school that had that 6'6" student beat up a teacher or whatever? If not, I'm gonna show you the video right here. I'm gonna show you the video.
Okay.
So if you see in the video, it shows a student like physically attacking his teacher. Mind you, this is a student that's 6'6", 200 and something pounds. And I'm sorry if you see that lady that came with the TikTok video. But yeah, he physically assaulted his teacher. I think it was a teacher's aide, but regardless, it was a teacher. Because she took up his Nintendo Switch. How would you guys handle this situation if this was you?
First of all, I hate that video because the men are like lollygagging, walking over there all slow. First of all, why are you walking over to that situation so slow? Second of all, this goes 100% back to the parenting. Why are you letting your child bring a Nintendo to school? You're not there to play no games. You're there to work. Where is your parents? Second of all, I saw somewhere in the comments when I saw the video originally, they were like, oh, this kid is special needs. That doesn't mean anything to me. He's not special needs enough where he's in a self-contained class with a teacher's assistant following him around. He's out with the general population. Therefore, he has to uphold the same rules as everybody else. Okay, I don't care if the child is autistic or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So that kid 100% needs to be in jail. You are assaulting people. You don't just get to walk around assaulting people. I tell the kids this all the time. You guys are punching on each other in school. When you turn 18, you go out into the real world and you start punching on someone. Guess what? Now you're in jail. You don't get to start. And so school was made to prepare kids for the real world. You don't get to walk around punching kids. Okay, it's not how things are.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you? How would you have handled it, Ellie?
Oh Lord, honestly,
you're like the nicest person. Like I can't.
So nice, but that's why she teaches elementary.
Literally. Yeah. I don't know. I'd call someone. Obviously, he has issues. I would call someone else. I'm not gonna risk my life for a Nintendo.
That's pretty messed up. But because he was just. After she took up the game or whatever, he was threatening to actually kill her almost. And he almost did that. Regardless if he was autistic or not, I feel like, most likely the parents went wrong on this because they allowed him to take the game. Because, I don't know.
Like I said, oh, I'm going to kill you. Don't even worry about it. Now your Nintendo is going to the principal and I'm going to have the officer go ahead and escort you out of my presence because you got too much going on, sir. Yeah,
I mean, there was a lot of people defending the kid too, saying that, oh, he's autistic. He didn't know what he was doing. But I'm like, bro, like he needs to learn that, there's consequences into doing stuff like this too. Unfortunately, I do have another question that I didn't write down, mostly because I forgot.
He said, unfortunately.
Right?
But I'm gonna go ahead and ask anyways. I know it's like a really like touchy question as well because of the world that we live in right now. But how would you? I know you guys probably pray every day that you guys don't go through a school shooting, and I hope to God that you guys never do. But what is your take on that? Do you think that your school is preparing you for something like that to ever occur, to ever happen? Or I don't know. Let me hear your thoughts on that. Whichever.
I don't ever think about school shootings, Ricky, because at the school I'm at, I don't gotta deal with that. Come on. There's no school. There's not gonna be a school shooting at the school with the kids that I work with. Now, if there was per se, I think we always see school shootings happen and just people just sit around and they're scared and they're compliant. There's one person. So that's my brain, my mind. You know how I am. I mean, we're probably the same, Ricky, because it's just how we were.
Yeah.
But like, there's one person. I mean, come on, we gotta move into action. Because if you're gonna take me out, you're gonna have to work for this. You have to work for this. Like, you're not gonna just be able to take me out. So that's how I feel. But like, once again, in the type of school that I work with, I don't gotta worry about no school shootings. So.
What about you, Ellie?
Definitely been asked this question a lot, and I always answer, when you're at school, you don't think about that. You're so busy in your day with your kids that you do not think about it. So if it were to happen, no matter how much we're prepared or how much we thought about it, where we're going to hide, there's really no preparing for us, especially us little kids. Like, where am I going to stuff all these 20 kids into?
Yeah, that's
of course,
true.
they're going to be crying. So there is a plan, like as far as a campus wide, but not even those plans as we see in videos. I mean, what are we going to compete with guns? But as I teach, I don't think about that. I don't really hear about the shootings until like after work. I'm on TikTok or something.
Yeah, that's true. So you guys are living it day by day, and living it day by day. Basically, you really don't think about that. And I'm kind of glad because you can't live your life in fear all the time anyways. Hey, so I'm glad you're
time, and the good Lord takes me. It's my time. So that's how I feel about everything in life.
Oh, I guess that's a good way to look at it too. Well, we are at the end of the show, hour 12 minutes. I do want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining me today for this episode. I got a lot of good information out of it, honestly, and I'm glad I picked two teachers from two different districts, because I know you guys don't have a lot of, maybe there are a lot of similarities, but there's two different districts. So I don't know if you guys, work the same way as well. But either way, I had a blast. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me, Ellie. Miss Starks, and I know I haven't seen you in a while, but it was a pleasure to have you here. Seriously, it really was.
Thank you for having us.
No, thank you, Ellie, for making. No, thank you, Ellie, for making it work. I saw you going from the living room to outside. I'm even scared for your safety right now. I was like, I hope it's safe out there. All I hear is like the crickets in the background.
Literally.
She hung up.
Her phone probably died because mine was about to die too.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go and let you charge your phone. But thank you guys. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna go ahead and stay a little bit longer just so I could let everybody know about my next episode and whatnot.
Okay, cool. Bye.
But thank you so much. Bye, Miss Starks. All right, guys. So it's just me at the very end. I do have to stretch a little bit because after an hour sitting in this little chair, it does hurt my back after a while. Hang on just 1 second. That's probably Ellie right there. Yep, it's Ellie. Give me 1 second, guys. She put, as you said, that it took me. I'm actually replying to her real quick. All right. Sorry about that. But yeah, Ellie did hang up on accident, but it's okay. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for joining me. I know it was just like probably one person watching. But hey, I know I'm probably gonna get more views later on. That's usually how this thing works. As for my next episode, I'm not gonna have an episode next week. I'm gonna take a little break next week. Give a little time to brainstorm on new episodes here and there. I don't have any episodes planned for next month just yet, but I will get to that next week. I'll probably work on it next week. That's probably what I'm gonna do instead of shooting an episode. I do want to thank once again Miss Starks and Miss Sanchez for joining me on this very special episode, because I'm pretty sure these are questions that a lot of people wanted to ask them too. And I know I wanted to ask about the STAR test as well, and I got my answer. And so I thought that was pretty cool. Very, very, very educational. However, stay with. I'm sorry. I can barely talk right now. Not because I'm anxious. I'm not anxious at all right now, actually. Let me see what Ellie said. Oh, okay. No, she just reacted to my stuff. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, there she is. No problem. It did let me join again. It didn't let me join again. I figured it was over. It's okay, Ellie. It's okay, Ellie. Don't worry about it. It's just me right now. I'm just talking, trying to say goodbye to everybody. But yeah, everybody. So not next week, but the week after, it will be a whole new episode. Hopefully, I'll have like 3 or 4 for the next month. But yeah, next week I cannot do an episode because I have to help my wife out here at home. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me once again. Hope to see you in 2 weeks. I know after the month of May, I'm gonna go ahead and take another break, because a new season starts. Well, at least for me. But yeah, guys, I had a great time with these teachers. Miss Starks, I've known her from the military, and Miss Sanchez is related to me. She's my second cousin, so that's how I know those teachers. So I was really glad whenever they said yes, they wanted to join the episode, because like I like to reconnect with a lot of people, and I think that was great. Well, everybody, I want to say thank you. Have a good night. Like and subscribe on Facebook, and like and follow on YouTube, or not YouTube. I'm sorry. Wait, I think I said that wrong. Anyways, I'm sorry. Like and subscribe on YouTube, and like and follow on Facebook. Thank you, and have a good night, everybody.